What's going on, everyone? AP over here at Run Pure Sports, bringing to you once again the PGA Strokes Game Show. Coming off a nice week. One of our members, Vinay, he was in the World Golf Championships. He came in 10th, bagged a nice 40K. Shout out to you, Vinay. Awesome finish there. I know you were right there towards the end, so it's always exciting. Even though we had a day delay with the hurricane coming in. Another thing too, I got it. Sorry, Snyder. I think you're in the 2-hole again. We got to kick it over to Hoop. Hoop was very high on Tony Finau. Originally, Tony Finau was probably going to be a fade for myself. Hoop convinced us all, talked us into us, sold us on Finau, and Finau got the W last week. Hoop, let me send it over to you. How was your week last week?
Yeah, no more top 5 Tony. You got the job done. And we're going to have to come up with a new name. Although it was funny, we were talking on the MLB show, and the big thing was, Tony Finau always chokes on Sunday. Didn't have the opportunity to choke on Sunday. So maybe the choking on Sunday thing might still be real because he got it done on Monday. But it was good to see. Excited for him. Yeah, I kind of talked about on the show. He's like one of my favorite golfers. Haven't been playing him much lately. You guys know we're on here every week. Just haven't been playing him. He hasn't been playing great. Just felt like that was the opportunity there for him to get back on track. Worked out well. Very ironic week for me. Just kind of weird. We talked about on the MLB show. My 2 highest owned guys were Rahm and Finau, which you'd think would lead to a lot of money coming my way, and somehow managed to get absolutely dusted in PGA DFS with Rahm and Finau as my 2 highest owned guys. Just kind of weird how that all works. I mean, Johnny Vegas, I was really high on, kind of fell apart round 2 out of nowhere. Had been playing really well. But, it was a weird week, I guess, for me, to say the least. Rahm and Finau a ton. And then, I guess I wasn't on the right guys. A lot of key guys missed the cut for me. But no cut event, the top golfers in the world this week. Definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got the notification. Well, it would have been late on Monday. It was like, you won $168. It was not the case. If I'm returning 168, it's not usually a good week. Snyder, how about you, man? How was your week last week?
Yeah, my week was about like your guys's. It was a slight losing week for me. I just didn't have the right combinations. I got on some Finau after Hoop talked me into it. I had some of these other guys up there. Brooks didn't play well over the weekend, which hurt me. Some other guys, I did lose I had to give some money back to the knee houses, which wasn't good. Morikawa let me down this week, so I had to ship over some of their giblets back, but we'll be back this week ready to roll.
Yeah,
well, I will say I fucking am kicking myself because part of the reason I know I didn't do all that well was I got back. I've talked shit about Rory forever, and something out of nowhere clicked in my head like, you know what? I'm playing him this week. Like last minute, I added him. The guy sucks. Okay, if you guys ever ask me, if I ever asked you if I'm playing Rory, just kick me in the balls or something and tell me not to do it. And like the first, I start kind of going around a little bit and just seeing who people are talking about. These guys in the industry continue to just suck on his crank. The dude fucking blows. I don't care what the stats say. I don't give a shit about anything else. He's an average golfer. He's an average golfer, and that's it. I'm not playing the fucker.
This could get interesting later then.
Oh my God. I seriously, give me the heads up. I can't listen to it. I really can't even hear it.
Rory's going to be chalked this week too. 9,400 DraftKings. I know for a fact he's going to be chalked. Mm-hmm. I'm with Hoop on this one. We're talking about it in chat. This guy he's going down the path of Ricky Fowler, like that kind of level. Maybe not as far, but gosh, the guy's just
this is kind of like a first look for me. Obviously, with the pricing just came out today. I didn't realize he's 9,400. Son of a bitch! Like
now who's on him?
Oh God, I didn't know he's 94.
Oh man, I know it's going to create some decisions this week. Yeah. We got Bryson DeChambeau down there, 9,300 too. We're obviously going to get into the golf here in a little bit. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us to keep this free for each and all of you every week. We got a promo going on right now. We're going to be pushing this hard because we're not going to be bringing it back. It's RPS NFL 15. That is RPS NFL 15. It's going to get you 15% off your you're priced for life with us, which is a phenomenal deal. I already think, we're pretty much underpriced. We're going to have a ton of NFL content coming up. I mean, we're what, 2.5 weeks out? I mean,
the preseason NFL has been on fire for us. I've been doing really well this year in NFL preseason. We've just crushed it every week, it seems. Members are winning. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, honestly, I have not been able to play it just because with MLB, with with the other sports and everything else going on. I'm kicking myself now. I should just get in there and play your guys' course. I mean, I don't need to do any research.
You just have to play the right plays. I mean, let other guys make mistakes. You know which guys are going to be seeing the majority of the snaps for the most part. You just got to play the right guys and move on.
Yeah. With that in mind, so one thing I've done this week, guys, I went back and I've looked at my results over the past 3 years. They haven't been as good during this stretch of golf. And one thing I found in my own game that I'm happy to share with everyone here is when we get down to this point of the season, I found that I get too cute. And so like my theme is I'm not going to get cute, like fading John Rahm. Not going to do it. I think it's this guy is on another level right now. So when you're looking at PGA, when you're looking at DFS, it's always good to look at your results and where you're doing things good, where you're doing things bad. And it's good to find out where your holes are at. I think getting cute at this point in the season is definitely a hole of mine. I'm going to fix that here on the show with you guys tonight, and we're going to come up with some phenomenal plays. Let's dive into it. How we do it each and every week. We're going with the studs, 10K and up. We're going tier by tier. We're talking about the plays, and we're finding the winners. Hoop, I'm going to kick it over to you. Start us off with the 10K and up range.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll start out with the same conversation we kind of had last week, where Rahm is in a tier of his own, and it was proof again this week. He didn't get the job done, but finished third. I mean, he just missed a couple short putts, really. I think early on in that round on Monday, if he would have sunk, I think those guys are done. He just couldn't make those few putts, and you're not going to make them every single week. What we saw last week was him even taking that step further to prove that he's the best golfer in the world. And like I said, to me, he's in a tier of his own. No cut event. Can't imagine fading Rahm. People will, and to me, the ownership's going to be much lower than it should be. I'm happy they got him a little closer to 12K. I hope that scares some people off. I will not be scared off. I will be loading up on him for that reason, though. I mean, I'm going to be off Xander. Spieth, man, that was one of the stranger things you're going to see. I mean, 73, 72, fires a 62 in round two, then right back to 72. I think he made some birdies. Or 79, 79 in the fourth, or 72, 62, 72, 79. And he made some birdies, I think, at the end of that final round to get to 79. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. I've been playing a lot of Spieth. After what I saw last week, I don't know if I can do it. That was wild from Spieth. And the thing that scares me with him is, we've seen it in the past when the wheels start to fall off, they fall off, and it takes him a while to get back. So at 10-8, I don't think I can go there. Justin Thomas, things are just trending nicely for him. And we obviously talk about JT a lot on the show, but, his last, he finished T4 last week. The approach game was on, but, 4th, 26th, 22nd, 40th. 8th. I think he's kind of rounding back into form, and I definitely have interest in him. Dustin Johnson, I've been fading, and it's worked out quite well. One of those situations where I got to see more out of him. Missed the cut. Just seems almost like disinterested. It seems like he goes in and out of interest in terms of his game. At 10-4, I will gladly continue to fade him. Last two, we got Snyder's boys coming in, at 10-2 and 10 flat. I'm going to be on one of them heavy, and that's Brooks. I definitely really like Brooks here at 10-2. I think it's a good price tag for him. Very good price tag, I'd say, actually, for him. Didn't golf all that well in the fourth round. He shot a 74. Brooks Koepka, the day off they had on Sunday, going into Monday, not really in contention. He knows he's advancing to this event. there's no way his head was in that fourth round. He didn't give a shit. So I'm giving him the free pass there. I really think if this round was played on Sunday, he would have had a better result overall in this tournament. At 10-2, I'm going to be heavy on him. Then the Morikawa stuff kind of scares me. I guess there was some sort of hidden injury. I'm sure Snyder knows more about that, but apparently he hurt his back at the Olympics, which makes sense because it sounds like his approach game was the worst 2 rounds or something consecutively that he's ever had on tour. So I don't know, maybe, this is Snyder's boy. Maybe he has more information on it. But for me, as it stands now, I'm probably going to be off of him at 10K for that reason. I'm kind of scared of this injury. So Rahm, JT, and Brooks are the guys that I'm looking at up top here.
Yeah, Rahm, JT, Brooks. And Snyder, I forgot a key part of the show. I was just too excited to get in there and talk about the winners. Here's what I want you to do, man. We're at a new course, Caves Valley. Talk a little bit about the course, what you see in it. It's a new course, obviously. I don't think any of the golfers here have any experience at this place. So talk to us a little bit about the course and then hop into the 10K and up range.
Yeah, sounds good. Caves Valley Country Club is par 72, stretching out over 7,500 yards. It's got right around average green size at around 5,200 square feet. They did add some new tee boxes here for this event to add about roughly 300 extra yards to lengthen it more for these guys. The fairways have been tightened up as well. They're going to be at approximately 25 yards of width, which is going to play at about 5 yards shallower than last week's tournament. They had some new bunkers as well added across this property, as well as repositioning some of these fairway bunkers to fit expected driving distances in that 300 to 340 range that they'll see here. Bent grass green surfaces with green speeds approaching 13 on the stemp meter. There will be 5 holes with water in play here, and there are some reports that the rough could be at that 4 to 5 inches of length here, which could play tough if you find that rough. It's a Fazio design. The obvious correlation will be Quail Hollow, but another one is Shadow Creek, which actually played that event last year, won by Jason Kokrak. There's 3 drivable par 4s here, but I'm not sure how many people will actually attack those, as a couple of those have some danger around them. 3 of the 4 par 3s will play over 220 yards. They have flipped the 9s here for this event, so the back 9 will actually play as the front 9 here because the other 9 is more wide open, so they can get more grandstands and more fans around that area. And they're resulting from this could see some stronger starts, as number 10 is a drivable par 4, and then there's 2 par 5s right in a row, which will be number 2 and number 4. So players will get out to some fast starts, I think, here. Many of the people are projecting a winning score around -20, but I think this is going to play a little tougher than that. I think there's some teeth here. There's some elevation changes, some tree-lined fairways, potentially some tough rough here. I think the winning score is going to be more in that -9 to -12 range, personally. Key stats I'll be looking at here is strokes gained approach off the tee, around the green, birdies are better gained, and opportunities gained. And getting into this 10K range here, I definitely like Jon Rahm. I mean, he's just playing on a whole nother level than this entire field, and enters as a big favorite. He's 5-1 favorite here. I mean, the next closest guy is coming in at 16-1. So that's a pretty big advantage, I think, for Rahm. He gained over 8 strokes approach last week, leading the field. He did struggle with the short game some, losing a stroke around the green, but he pretty much broke even putting. I think he's a strong option here as well. Xander was solid last week with the irons, but he did struggle some off the tee and around the green. I just don't think I can pay that 11.1 price tag for Xander with his lower win equity, as I think. JT, he finished with his first top 5 finish since winning the Players back in March. I think he's finally found something with the putter. He's been great across the board. The around the green game was a little down for him, but I feel like he's really close and ready to break through for another win here soon. Brooks Koepka, yeah, he didn't look that interested in Monday, and I think I know why. I was looking around. AP knows why. I mean, we seen Jenna's story. I mean, it was his chef's birthday on Sunday night, and they were all out partying and doing karaoke and everything, and you could tell Brooks might have been a little hungover over there. But I definitely like him coming back for this week here event. Morikawa, yeah, I need to look more into that. I haven't really seen much concrete evidence on what actually happened to Morikawa or what type of injury he may have. So I'm definitely leery on that right now, but I think he will definitely come in really low owned after his last two events. But like Hoop was saying, I mean, his key stat is that approach. And if he can't hit these irons or get through the ball like he needs to with that sore back, I definitely have some questions on him. I don't think I'll be able to play him, but I need to look more into that as the week goes.
Yeah, I mean, across the board, his numbers were really bad. Hoop, so was it a back injury? Is that what you heard on
They
Morikawa?
said lower back injury from the Olympics is basically what I've heard, and really affected his his iron play, obviously. So there's clearly something there, but he missed the cut, so maybe he's able to rest it and or work on that part of his game and get it back. But definitely concerning, and I think ownership will be pretty damn low on him for that reason this week. But I'm not playing him.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I look at this course, so our guy, our boy Didi Pinsack, member, he lives out in Baltimore. He said his golf instructor has played Caves Valley a bunch, and he said, quote, "These guys should tear it up, big fairways." He thinks it's going to be a birdie fest. So, that's kind of the consensus outside of our guy Snyder. If they got big fairways, soft conditions, which the storm just kind of went through that area. They got in a lot of rain and everything. If it's soft, if it's wide fairways, I don't care how tough the rough is. These guys are gonna eat it up because they're gonna find the big fairways and they're gonna find the greens. But with that said, when we get to this 10K range, back to what I said at the beginning of the show, John Rahm, he's in the pool. I'm not fading him. That price tag does not scare me away at all. Spieth, I can get off of. Dustin Johnson. This is one of those things where, looking back at it, I would get cute and I'd say, okay, Dustin Johnson, his price is coming down. Let's give him a shot. He's going to be low owned. No, I'm fading him. I don't care how low owned he is. I'm not playing him here. He's just been playing really bad. Kepka, so I'm off Morikawa too. I was already skeptical to begin with because I want guys that have distance here because I think they're going to bomb and gouge this course. And Morikawa is not necessarily that guy. If there's any injury concerns at all, easily off of him. Sorry for that, Snyder, but he'll be back. He'll for sure be back, obviously. So, for me, this range is really easy. It's John Rahm, it's Brooks Koepka, and Justin Thomas. And, Xander's the one guy I don't know what I want to do. Honestly, I'd rather have more shares of Rahm. I just think he's got way more win upside. And then Justin Thomas, I can't play Xander over JT. So it's easy for me. It's Rahm, it's Justin Thomas, and then Koepka is who I have third. Hoop, kind of your 1 and 2. It was Rahm and who else?
Rahm and Brooks, but I like JT too. So I think we're all kind of in agreement here for the most part.
Okay, very good. Snyder, you're 1 and 2, and then take us into the 9K range.
Yeah, I like Rahm too, and then it's going to be between JT and Brooks. I'm not sure where I'm going to go on that quite yet, but definitely like what you guys were saying. And for this 9K range, you look at, Tony Finau's back up there, 9.8. He's coming off that first win and his first win in the States. And I think that people overlook him. And never want to back the previous winner. And I think the short turnaround could actually be a positive for him coming back off that. He's only got a couple days to respond from that win. Maybe he'll just be right back in it, laser focused in. I'm not sure if I'm going to play him or not, but if he's going to be really low owned, I'll have some interest in him. This could just absolutely open the floodgates for him. Once he broke through, he could just be, instead of those top fives, he could start sprinkling in some of these wins. Louis, he's back from his break. He's been playing great golf this year. Should see some ownership. Not sure what I'm going to do with him quite yet. Cam Smith, he's priced up a little too high for me, and I'll have to pass on him. Rory, I do really like Rory this week. I feel like this track should set up really well for him with the correlation to Quail. We have been waiting for the putter to show up for him over this last, I don't know how long, and it finally showed up last week. But the problem was the strong iron play finally let him down. So I'm looking for him to bounce back here. I think the iron play will be back. The strong off the tee game is there. Hopefully he found something in the putter the long term and he can carry that over. If he can push all that together, I think he is like one of the better values on this slate, and he's got the biggest ceiling when you're talking like point per dollar. I think at only 9.4K. It's the first time he's been ranked outside the 15. First time he's been ranked outside of the top 15 world golf rankings since like 2009 too. So that could have a little emphasis on him. Bryson, he's projected to be one of the highest owned golfers at the moment. I think it's warranted though. If you can bob and gouge this place and he can take advantage of some of these short par fours, I think it makes sense. I'm not sure if I don't think I can play him and Rory because they're both gonna be really popular. So it'll probably be Rory over Bryson for me, but I get the play. I mean, this was 6 straight events where Bryson has lost strokes around the green. So I mean, that's a rough scene. He lost 3 strokes around the green last week. He also lost 3 strokes putting as well. I'd rather like dip down to this guy, Patrick Cantlay. I think he's a great value here. He's right in those low 9Ks. He's now averaged 4 strokes gained tee to green his last 6 events. He's got the putter rolling pure. His game should mesh very well here. I mean, I think he has everything this track should demand of him. Definitely like him. Hovland's his short game woes continued last week as he lost strokes around the green and putting for the 3rd straight week. I would much rather play this guy right under him and Daniel Berger. Berger had his worst recorded putting performance since 2017 last week, losing 5.7 strokes. He gained strokes off the tee, gained nearly 6 strokes approach, so the iron play was still fully there for him. I'm just happy to write that last week off as a bad event and a bad putting experience for him. I think he's going to bounce back really well here. He had gained strokes putting in his last 4 events entering this last week. I think he's a great value too. I love that bottom 9K range. I think you could jam in 2 or 3 of these guys and start builds off with some high win equity even.
Yeah, I like that. Cantlay was I thought he played very good last week. If you paired him with so he was the bench play, and then if you paired him with hoops play, you would have been doing very nicely with Finau. I think this range is going to be very important. Obviously, you got a lot of really good golfers that are priced low. Hoop, what are you seeing in this range?
Yeah, definitely more interested in the bottom portion of this range than the top portion. Like, Tony Finau. I'm not sure right now what I'm going to do with him at 9.8. I mean, typically I like to fade, the previous week's winner, but this is a guy that has been playing so poorly for so long, finally got that win off his shoulders. And I agree. I think the quick turnaround could definitely benefit him in this situation as well. Just less time to think about it. You're going back out there, you're golfing again. I don't know. I haven't decided. I mean, it is more than we've paid for him for a long time, obviously, because he won. Undecided there. Not playing Louis at 9.6. Cam Smith at 9.5. Definitely not playing him. My thoughts on Rory. I didn't, like I said, in the opening on my little rant, I didn't realize that he was 9.4. The first time that they've actually given him, priced him where he belongs. I mean, I still think this is a little bit more than he should be. At this point, I think he's definitely like a mid-8s golfer in these loaded fields. In terms of, how he's performed recently, but, we're getting the cheapest price tag we've seen on him. It is a no cut event. My prediction is, since this is a big time event with a loaded field, he comes out and probably puts up a very shitty round 1, gets himself completely out of contention, and then probably puts up some good rounds 2 through 4, because he's just not as good as these other guys. He can make birdies though, and it's a no cut event. So not decided on him either. Bryson, I absolutely love at 9.3K. I'm willing to take the chance that this course really suits him well, and I think that is going to be the case this week. Just come out and absolutely bomb it. and gouge. And those are the events that he's won. Got a fair price tag at 9.3. Again, no cut event. I mean, perfect for a guy like Bryson. I mean, he's, we saw it last week with the 9 birdies in the first round. And he was like even par, 1 under, whatever the hell it was. Like, that's absolutely insane. That's exactly what you want in a no cut event. So love him, love Cantlay. And then I think you kind of have to decide between like Hovland and Berger. I don't want to play both of them. I think I do lean Berger as well, but Hovland at 9-1 is not a bad tag either. But my favorite for sure in this range is Bryson.
Yeah, for me in this range, I think the cuts are easy. I think Louis, easy cut. Cam Smith, I'm not going to play him either. Easy cut. For me, Hovland is an easy cut, and Daniel Berger is an easy cut. My reasoning is we got Cantlay that's right in there with Berger, and I like how Cantlay played. Last week. We got Bryson, who I agree with you guys. I would just rather have Bryson in my lineup over a guy like Hovland or Berger. And then, and same with Cam Smith and Louis. I think those 4 for me are the easiest cuts. The difficult decision for me is Rory. Everyone's talking about how the course comp is much like Quail Hollow and some other courses where Rory has been phenomenal at. Rory won Quail Hollow this week. When these guys are going out there, when they're preparing too, they're going to hear the same stuff too. Oh, this course is like, it's like this course, it's like that course, and Rory's, when he hears it's like Quail Hollow, which everyone's talking about, it has to be somewhat of a boost to him, a confidence boost. So 9-4, this is one of those scenarios I get at. When I talk about like getting cute, initially coming in, I'm like, there's no way I'm playing Rory. I'm just, no matter what, I'm going to fade him. I can't do that because the price now has been adjusted. We've been talking about it, last week, like before last week, if you go back to the video, when we were talking about Rory, the putter was the issue. Last week, he gained strokes putting, and it was his approach game. He always has one thing wrong with his game. And so, when he gets it together, I mean, he's gonna pay off his price tag. And this week the price tag's lower, so I don't know if I can fade him. He's in my list right now, or he's in my pool right now. But I do think like Bryson is probably a better play when you're talking no cut event. When you're talking birdie, eagle upside. I mean, this guy, man, what did he make the other day? He made like 8 or 9 birdies. He finished like even par or, maybe 1 under, but I mean, he made a ton of birdies. So the birdie upside is definitely there. The other thing too, is like, I'm looking at this birdies gained. Rory is over his last 24 rounds, ranked 6th in birdies gained. Bryson ranked 7th. 2 guys that are on my, definitely on my radar. For example, like just a comparison, Patrick Cantlay, 42nd in birdies gained. So like if you're going off that stat and if you believe this course is going to be kind of a birdie fest, you have to give Bryson and Rory a leg up on Cantlay, even though Cantlay, the form looks better, if that makes sense. So I like Bryson. I'm coming around on Rory. And then Finau is the guy where it's like, man, is this guy going to just kind of like, is he now going to compete like each week of this playoffs? We've seen it happen. Like if you looked at Rahm last year, didn't he finish almost like top 5 in every single one of these events down the stretch? So like what I'm thinking now is Finau going to do that? Like, is he going to win and then he's getting a post a 3rd this week or a 5th this week? If so, you're going to want to consider it. So I'm undecided on him. I do know for sure. I got to say Bryson, just from a pure price standpoint, from a pure looking at the course fit, I think he is the best play in this range. And then, man, I'm undecided on my number 2. Like, I'm very afraid to say Rory, but I feel like I have to when you look at that price. So I'm going to say Bryson. I'm going to say Rory. Snyder, what was your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, I'm going to go Rory number 1, and I'm going to go Cantlay number 2.
Oh, you just can't say Bryson's name, can you? You're too stubborn. It's going to cost you money, Snyder.
I don't know about that.
You hate to see it.
I think there's more trouble out here than people are saying. I mean, they did say that this course has been closed for a month or 2, and they have brought the fairways in, like I had said, the 25 inches at average width, which is 5 yards shorter than last week's even.
25 inches
Or
average width?
25 yards.
Ooh.
25 yards.
There we go. Wait, 25 yards average width?
That's what the superintendent sheet says, yeah. Approximately 25 yards in width. They brought the new tees I was talking about, and then they tightened the fairways approximately 25 yards in width.
All right. Well, I'll have to, obviously we got a long ways until this event starts. If you're a member, make sure to hop in Discord and stuff once we get this course ironed out. But that would be very interesting. I still think, everything I'm seeing, like I can't get off Bryson. I just think, it's really going to depend. If you're talking like 330 to 350 drives, maybe it's wider out in that range. I still have to go and look at the Blue Golf, and it's something I look at in the Google Maps. But Hoop, what are your 1 and 2 in this range, and then take us into the 8K range?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be Bryson and Cantlay for me, 1 and 2. Feel pretty good about those guys. 8K range, not really a ton of golfers in this range when you start really looking at it. At the top, Scheffler, I have a ton of interest in. Been playing a lot of him lately. If this is one of those courses where, length off the tee is a benefit, that suits his game quite well. So 8-9. I definitely will be on Scheffler. Haven't been playing Matsuyama lately. Really hasn't burned me all that much. I'll continue to be off of him. Answer at 8-7. Coming off the win at the WGC. Finished 64th last week. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. Haven't been playing Connors. Won't be playing Webb at 8-5. I do like Harris English at 8-4. I have some interest in Sammy Burns at 8-3. Actually, maybe a little more interest. Actually, I like Burns quite a bit here at 8-3. I think I'm going to be on him quite a bit. Paul Casey, I just play Paul Casey basically every week. He's at 8-2, the cheapest he's been in a while. I'll be back on him. Neiman at 8-1, I think, is a fine play. And then we have Sungjae at the bottom, and Sungjae have not played much Sungjae, I'll be honest, but things appear to be trending in the right direction for him. He was 46 at the WGC, then 24th at the Wyndham, 16th last week. I think I'm going to have Sungjae in my player pool for the first time in a while. So I think I prefer some of these guys at the bottom opposed to the top. I do like Scheffler, but then after that, I'm going to come down to guys like English, Burns, Casey. So definitely will be more at the bottom of this range than the top of it.
Yeah, and I think that makes a ton of sense. I find myself, thinking a lot of the same things when you just look at this range. Snyder, what are you doing with the 8K range this week?
Yeah, some of the guys I won't be playing for sure would be like a Hideki, a Webb. I don't think I'm going to play Sammy Burns. I'm not a big Neiman fan. I mean, he finished 47th last week. I just don't think he's got much upside for what his finishing positions have been this year. I do like Scotty Scheffler, though. He's been known to he's just a great scorer. He can rack up these birdies. I mean, his putter has been a little up and down, but I think he's got the good upside here under 9K, so I definitely like him. I kind of expected that little letdown from Answer at the WG after winning that WGC event. He did finish second at Quail Hollow this year, 1 shot behind Rory, ranked 6th in fairways gained, 8th in par fours, 450 to 500. I think he's got good top 10 upside here. I'll definitely have him. Corey Connors has been a great ball striker, gaining over 6 strokes approach last week, as well as 4.7 strokes off the tee. He's been great in those 2 stats this year, but he's just really been struggling with that short game, and it seems to hold him back at times. He did record his first top 10 last week since April, so he could be rolling in with some good momentum. He just needs to get that short game in shape. Harris English, I always like Harris. Gained a 5 shot after gaining 5 shots approach last week, 2.7 strokes last week. But he did remain strong with the short game. I mean, Harris is just a strong guy there. Paul Casey was just abysmal last week with the short game. I mean, that was his worst strokes gained putting in his whole career, losing 6.5 strokes last week. I think the positives out of the week were his strong iron play was still there, gained nearly 6 strokes approach, still gained over 3 strokes off the tee. I think Casey's a good bounce back option here. He has finished a top 5 in his last 2 starts at Quail Hollow 2 in that corollary course, so I like Casey. And yeah, I'm still thinking about Sung Jae Im. I may add him to the pool as well. I'm not sure on him yet.
I mean, my thing is like, if we're looking at Sung Jae Im, you know, why am I not just like paying a little more, 800 more for Hideki? Like, the price tag on Hideki is interesting. I think he's been very good off the tee. And Snyder, if what you said about these fairways are right, I think that's going to be an important component this week. And I mean, he got a T2 at the WGC. So it's another guy. That was a no-cut event. Obviously he did all of his damage on Sunday, but you got a guy like that who can go low on any one of these days. I'll have interest. He ranks 13th overall in birdies gained, birdies gained over his last 24 rounds. And he's 8th on approach and 4th ball striking. The distance is lacking, but if he's finding fairways, I'll have some interest in him. Scheffler, ton of interest in. I feel like I'm kind of with you guys. I'm over Webb. I'm done with that guy. Answer, he got the win at the WGC, and then guy didn't look too good last week. I'm just not like, I don't know. It was an easy cross off for me. Corey Connors, I think we saw his ceiling last week. T8, I mean, he looked phenomenal there for a bit, but then we saw what happens with Corey Connors, and struggles with the putter and everything, and now the pressure is on. We're getting down to the end of the season. There's other guys I'd rather play than Corey Connors. Harris English for me is definitely one of the easier plays. Sam Burns, I was really impressed with, but again, relative to the field, 8,300 feels a little expensive when we're looking at some of these other players and where we're usually, seeing Sam Burns priced at. I do like the T21 finish last week. I thought his game looked good, but part of me is kind of saying, did we see a ceiling performance from him last week? If so, we could see him more so down towards the bottom, this week and not in the winning lineups. So for me, and then Neiman, easy fade too. And then Sung Jae for me, like, he is trending in the right direction, but he's one of those plays where it's like, man, do I get sucked in? And then he ends up sucking. So I'm kind of undecided. What I might do, this is where on some of these guys in this range where I'm undecided on, I might keep them in the pool, with the Optome, but under project them. And if they land in there, they land in there. It is what it is. I'm going to under project them relative to guys like Harris English and even Sam Burns. So for me in this range, it's a clear number 1, Harris English. And I got to go Scotty Scheffler too. But I'm going to be honest. I think Hideki is a very close number 3 for me. Hoop, give me your 1 and 2 in this range.
Scheffler number 1, and then I'm going to go Paul Casey number 2.
Snyder, you're 1 and 2, then take us into the 7K range.
Yeah, I agree completely with Hoop. Scotty Scheffler is my number 1, and then Paul Casey will be my number 2. And getting into
I got to ask you guys something else too, because this is one of those things that I'm talking about. I initially wanted to fade Paul Casey. That would be getting too cute, right? I mean, fading Paul Casey at 8,200 in a no-cut event where, he one of these rounds he's going to smash. We just know that's what he does. So I got to have him in there, right?
Yeah, you look at it last week. I mean, he was right. What was he, like 8,700? He was right there, close to that 9K range. All those guys are still there. Cantlay, Hovland, Berger, Scheffler. They're all right in that same range they were last week. Then Casey gets dumped all the way down to 8,200 for some reason. I don't know.
That's a good point.
One bad week. I mean, one bad week. Look at prior to that. I mean, just phenomenal golf. A lot of guys had bad weeks last week. I mean, the interest level for the guys that knew they were making it through could have potentially been low. I think it's a good, bounce back spot at a cheap price tag.
I like him. He's in the pool. I'm going to make sure I'm overweight. I like that call. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, Snyder, back to you.
Yeah, Shane Lowry, I'm going to be looking at him first here. The irons continue to be strong for him, gaining over 7 strokes approach last week. He's now gaining 3.3 strokes on average over his last 10 events. Gained nearly 3 strokes around the green last week, and he lines up well here. It's a solid value with some upside here, I think. So I definitely like him. Alex Noren, he's kind of been just boom bust recently. He's went 4th, 16th, miscut, 4th, miscut, 13th. So there's good news for him here, though. There is no cut this week, so you're going to get that scoring upside, I think, all week long. He's continued to putt strong. It's definitely interesting this week. I like him. Kevin Na, I've been playing him the last couple of weeks, but he's just been playing great golf over these last couple of months as a whole. He's recorded 3 top 10s and a 23rd at the WGC. He holds strong birdie upside. I think he's made an eagle in 3 of his last 4 events. He ranks 2nd in short game over the last 50 rounds. I think he's a real strong target here in this range. I think he's, 74? Cam Trigali recorded his 4th straight top 26 last week. He's been solid with the strokes gained approach play. The putter has been a bit of a drawback for him, but he's been poor off the tee. He's losing a stroke on average over his last 10 events off the tee, but I think he can rebound there. I mean, that's kind of worrisome here with the fairways possibly, but I still like him for the upside. Brian Harman, I don't think I can get here. I'm going to stay off of him. He lost strokes approach for his 3rd straight event last week, so I'm going to continue to stay off of him. Vegas, he burned some people last week, missing his first cut since April. I mean, he gained strokes approach still, but he lost over 2 strokes putting, which really killed him. He was right there on the cut line. I think I'll be looking to jump back on him. This could be some good flop lag here if a lot of people jump off of him. He's got that high birdie upside I like. My guy Mav, he just continues to pile up these top 30s. 6 straight top 30 for him. I'll once again have some interest in him this week. Charlie Hoffman's another guy I like down at the bottom of this range. Gained nearly 4 strokes approach last week and route to a 21st place. 26 birdies made last week, showing off that high birdie upside that he has. I like the price tag here at only $7K in this no-cut event where he can pile up a lot more birdies again.
I mean, Charlie Hoffman ranks 11th in birdies gained over the last 24 rounds relative to the field. I did not know that. That's really impressive. I like that call. Hoop, talk to us about the 7K range.
I mean, me and Snyder are riding together this week on a lot of guys. I mean, pretty much in lockstep. Like Shane Lowry, it was on him last week. The results were good. Just continues to produce solid finishes. 7.9K, I think, is a fair price tag for him. Definitely going to be right back on him. Kevin Na has been so good. He's a guy, I'm kind of biased against. I just don't like him, and I don't like watching him golf, and I don't like watching him putt specifically. I hate when he, putts it and then, immediately starts walking to grab it. It just tilts me. Maybe it tilts me because I'm never on him. So when I see him doing it, I'm like, fuck, this guy made another, putt. But man, he's been really good. He's been really damn good. I'm going to have to look at him a little closer. One guy I'm going to add to the list that Snyder really didn't talk about is, I don't know. I never was really a Sergio guy, but I've been sucked into him recently. And, he missed the cut last week, but he did fire a 68 in the second round. He looked much, much better. 75, obviously, in the first round. No cut event. I think he has a chance to go low, at least 1 round and maybe 2 rounds. And he's good off the tee. If this is a course where, we need length, he's been very solid. I think a good GPP play. I don't think many people will be on him this week. Tringali, I've played Tringali almost every week, and obviously it's worked out well. I see no reason to get off of him. Like no reason to get off of him at this point. To me, again, he was 7.3K last week, 7.5K. I really think he could be in that 8K range, and I'd still have interest in him. Brian Harmon's been our boy for a long, long time, but he's kind of broke right now. Like Snyder said, the approach game's been way off. It's kind of one of those situations where we've made our money on Brian Harmon. Now it's time to, wash our hands clean of him and move on. So that's kind of what I'll be doing with him. I will be going back to Vegas. Was not solid last week, but 7.1K, no cut event, a guy I know can make birdies and eagles. Definitely on him. And then the $7,000 guys, Hoffman, McNeely, I think are phenomenal play. So this range is really cut and dry for me. I love the guys I talked about. I'll have a ton of exposure, and they'll probably be some of my highest owned guys. The guys I talked about in this range.
Were either of you guys high on Jason Kokrak?
Man, he's a guy. He's like a hot and cold guy for me. When he's off his game, he starts missing cuts. I really don't want anything to do with him. So I can see the case that you could lay out for him. The no cut event here. He has birdie upside and all that, but I don't think I'm doing it at 7.8K.
Yeah, I will say with them, there's across the board, the numbers don't look good. I mean, but if you bring in a few more rounds, they look very good. And so I'm really torn on him. That's the one guy I'm like, man, he's going to be low owned. The numbers over the last two events, I can throw out the window. I don't think he was fully there. Last week, though, he just didn't look good either. So I'm really torn. I don't think I'm going to exclude him from my pool. But if he brings it, go ahead, Snyder.
If you're looking for a reason to play him, I mean, I have heard some corollary to Shadow Ridge where he did win that CJ Cup. So if you're looking for a reason, but again, I mean, with his recent form, I mean, that might be a spot where you could possibly be getting too cute. Possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, in MME formats, if he's going to be low owned,
definitely.
I don't,
if he's going to be at 15%, like 5%,
I don't have a huge, one guy, though, that looked really good last week, I don't know who got me on him, but Keegan Bradley, I mean, finished T11. I think maybe it was in Showdown formats I got on him. I want to say it was Hoop or Snyder, one of you guys. Can't remember, but another guy that I didn't hear his name, but I have a lot of interest. Now, hear me out. We know he struggles on the green and putting. We know that there should be birdies to be had this week. If these fairways are tougher to hit, if they're not as wide as I thought initially coming in, I love a guy like Keegan. It means we have easy greens to target, a guy coming in form, a guy that can get it done. I think he's going to be lower owned too. I just think he's a nice play overall. And then outside of those two guys, I'm in lockstep with you guys. I think like guys like Brian Harmon, easy fades for me. Billy Horschel, not playing him. Kevin Na, I thought was interesting. I mean, he's been T2, T8. Numbers don't look good outside of making every single putt that he can make. And so for me in this range, it's I think one other guy, Snyder. I think you maybe mentioned him, Johnny Vegas.
Yeah.
I do like Vegas coming off a missed cut. One other thing that I was looking at was these guys that missed the cut last week. Were they able to get out here early? Snyder, have you heard anything like that? Like, was Johnny Vegas able to leave, come out here early, get a little experience on the course, play a few rounds? Have you heard anything like that?
I haven't heard anything concrete, but I've heard there's people thinking that's what happened. I mean, they thought that they wanted to get out of there before the hurricane hit and everything, so they probably just packed their bags and got out of there and maybe just made that quick trip over quick.
If that's the case, which I would assume is, like if I'm Johnny Vegas, we're at a very important time in the season where, it's the playoffs and you're out of it. Let's go to the next course. Let's freshen up. So I like Vegas this week. I think he's one of the better values down here. He's if you take away the Northern Trust, he's been incredible, like absolutely incredible. So I'm going to have him in my pool. Charlie Hoffman, I agree with you. And then your boy Mav. I mean, I can't believe Mav's still here. I mean, if you're not playing him this week, Snyder, I would come and slap you.
We're off the West Coast too. West Coast is where he usually smashes, and now he's broadening his game.
I'm going to say my favorite play is Vegas, and earmuffs on this one. My second favorite play is Jason Kokrak. That's my 1 and 2. Hoop, what were your 1 and 2s?
It's going to be Tringali, number 1, and number 2, I'm going to go for like a low-owned GPP guy in Sergio.
God, I hate Sergio, but
I do too. I'm going to
have to get on that with you. Snyder, 1 and 2, and then let's finish this up in the 6K range.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kevin Na, number 1, and Johnny Vegas 2. In this 6K range, I've still need some looking into, but a guy I'm looking at for sure is gonna be Brendan Grace. He's kind of been boomer bust of late, but I think he does hold some solid birdie upside. He has made 20 or more birdies in 2 of his last 3 events, so I like that in a no-cut event at under 7K. Ortiz, that's a guy that you guys often play. Solid upside target here. He's made an eagle on each of his last 4 events, so that's good. Max Homa, he looks a little too cheap here, and he is a past winner at Quail Hollow in 2019, so that kind of lines up well for him. He's gained strokes approach in his last 3 events. He's really been struggling with the flat stick as of late, but I think that could flip here at any possible time. I think he's a solid GPP target down here in these lower 6Ks. Chris Kirk's interesting for GPPs. Taylor Gooch had another strong approach week last week, gaining over 5 strokes approach. He's averaging 4 strokes gained over his last 5 events now. Solid scoring upside for only 6,200, I think. The guy I like the best, my best pump play that I like is Hudson Swafford. He's gained over 5 strokes approach in back-to-back weeks now, making 18 birdies and 2 eagles last week, and then 22 birdies the week before. 6K stone min with that upside looks pretty strong to me.
Yeah, I like this. I mean, this range, it's pretty dusty here, in a hurry. Hoop, 6K range, who's popping out for you?
At the top, Cameron Davis, I think a longer course, no cut event. I think he has a lot of upside here. Munoz, I kind of like at 6.7K, a guy that in the past treated us well. He's starting to trend pretty strongly in the right direction. 4th at the John Deere, missed the cut at the Open. Okay, that's fine. He was 4th at the Olympics, 29th at the Wyndham, 21st last week. Again, no cut event. I think he's a guy that can make some birdies. I like the Ortiz call. I really like Max Homa this week at 6.4K. He's kind of the name to me that stands out as being way too cheap. So Max Homa at 6.4, Chris Kirk at 6.3, Taylor Gooch I like a lot at 6.2, and then Swafford as well. Swafford 6K flat. No cut event. He can hit along off the tee. I didn't know about the approach game like Snyder mentioned. That makes me feel even better about him. 6K, really good price tag for him. I'm going to be down here a lot. I'll probably even add a couple more names to the list, but those are kind of the ones that stand out for me right now.
Yeah, we got one more guy you'll be adding. I'm confident on that. Cam Davis, I phenomenal mention. One of the guys I was considering for kind of that notebook play. I love Cam. I think he's a phenomenal play this week. Grace, just with his birdie upside. I'm not playing Mackenzie Hughes. Like this guy, I mean, if he's up there, he's up there. It is what it is. I mean, I ran him like it's just crazy. You'll randomly see him. He'll be dust or he'll be at the top of the leaderboard. So maybe that's a reason to have him in the pool at minimal ownership. I'm not sure, but I want to fade him. Lee Westwood, I'm not playing. Leishwood, I'm not playing. Munoz, I'm probably not playing. Stuart Sink, I'm a little torn on, but probably not playing. Ortiz, I'm going to try to trim the pool down here a little bit. Like Ortiz, I'm probably not going to play.
Wait, did I hear that right?
Whoa.
Carlos Ortiz?
Well, that's your guy.
I mean, I know it is my guy.
If you're off him, I'm definitely getting off him. I mentioned him to I mentioned him to kind of kiss up to you a little bit. If you're off him, I'm definitely off.
The problem with him is he's shown no upside lately, literally none. He just I don't know what it is. He just can't get it going. He's struggling.
I want to know what the betting odds were coming onto the show tonight that me and Snyder both mentioned Carlos Ortiz. AP's off. That had to be plus 10,000.
I mean, the guy is just, I got to do, if we have wide open fairways and if he can bomb it, I like him. But if not, if he has to like club down, I hate him. His only weapon is his driver. He's really long off the tee. But if he has to club down, he sucks. Like he absolutely sucks and can't make birdies at all. He ranks 58th in this field in making birdies over his last 24 rounds. So I got to do a little bit more research there. I like the Max Homa call. Just too cheap. Taylor Gooch, he's a guy I'm very high on. He ranks 21st in birdies made relative to this field, 10th on approach. If he can find these fairways, he's going to be good. I have a little interest in Lucas Glover as a pure punt. And then I love the Hudson Swafford play. 6K. This guy looks really good off the tee. Finished T11th last week, trending in the right direction. I really like that call. Snyder, my guy this week, notebook play. He's really he got fifth at Hoop. Your track, the 3M Open, followed up. He had a fine finish, he made the cut, did okay at the Wyndham, and then T8 last week. Keith Mitchell, guy who's long off the tee, just pulling up his stuff. I mean, this guy gained strokes off the tee. Like I can't remember the last time he hadn't gained strokes off the tee. Can absolutely bomb it. The putter is really hot right now. And the only issue for him is his approach game, which is not even that bad. He's not gaining strokes on approach, but it's not like he's getting destroyed. Like the irons are okay. And so I think the price is way too low. All the metrics look good except for the approach. He's just, average on. If he keeps the form going, I think he's going to be a phenomenal play. 6,500, one of my favorite value plays in the 6K range.
The notebook play did well last week. You're on Chaz. I got it right here. Chaz got the job done.
Yeah. What do you I can't
he was
even
up
remember.
there. He was probably like 20th or something. I mean, he was definitely up there, 20th or 30th, which was definitely good for his price tag.
I thought he sucked because I had Uncle T in my DMs. I know Uncle T's watching.
He did.
He was saying Chaz was hurting his feelings. So
where did he finish? Snyder, you got that? Dig that up for us. And I'm pretty.
I would know, but I wouldn't know because I had a terrible week, so I wasn't looking at my lineups at all. I gotta say though, I'll get my 1 and 2 out of the way real quick.
Chaz got 31st.
Yeah, that's really good. What the hell's Uncle T talking about?
It's not 31st is not, as a 6K play, 31st is not good enough for Uncle T. We know that. He expects better. I got to say, my top 2 plays, Keith Mitchell and Cam Davis. I like those guys, both bombers off the tee. I think they give us a nice upside here. Snyder, you're 1 and 2.
I'm going to go my 1. I'm going to go with Hudson Swafford as that punt, and then Max Homa 2.
I like that. Hoop.
Oh, give me Taylor Gooch and Cam Davis.
I like that. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep this free for each and all of you every week. We got a promo going that we talked about, RPS NFL 15. It's going to get you 15% off your first or your lifetime payment here at RPS. Honestly, when you think about NFL, we top to bottom, we're going to provide you with everything that you need to make lineup decisions. We're not the guys that are big on like these fancy tools, like, how many yards, I don't even know what it is. Your yard per catch or whatever. You guys maybe know more than me. Like your yards that your receivers are going down the fields, your air yards and all that stuff. We're just going to tell you what we feel are the best plays. We've had a lot of success keeping it simple. We have a cash chart. We have core plays. We have a stacks chart. We make it extremely easy for each and all of you. And then we add it up with our Discord and then all of the shows. We're going to have shows each and every week. We're going to have articles coming out each and every week. We're going to have all the information and tools that you need to make winning lineup decisions for NFL this year. I can't be more excited. You guys have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to release the show schedule, but we're going to have new and unique content every single day drop from, starting Tuesday all the way up till lineups lock on Sunday. So we'll have, one main show and, some of our content dropping all throughout the week. Like AP said, our team is, obviously this is biased, but the best team in the industry. And, we're going to provide you with winners all season long. And we're making changes to improve the product, the playbook. If you're a fan of the PGA playbook, the NFL playbook is going to look pretty similar to the PGA playbook. We're going to make some changes where we highlight some of the top overall value plays. Then we highlight some of the GPP plays, highlight some leverage plays. And you know what? We'll throw in like the plays of the week, like we do in PGA as well. So we're always looking to improve and, make our product better. And I think you're really going to like what we roll out this season for NFL. Last season was our first season. I think we did a good job with everything. This year is going to be bigger, better, stronger, and we're going to crush this season.
Yeah, I agree. I got to make one other thing. Back to the 6K play, notebook play. Our boy DCC in chat. He just, I can't believe I did not mention this. So everyone's been talking about the course comp this week, Quail Hollow. What did Keith Mitchell finish at Quail Hollow? Third this year. So, I mean, he's going to smash this week. I absolutely love him as the value play. Let's get into our winners. Snyder, let me go to you. Who do you think is going to win? And then, maybe a longer shot that you don't mind taking a bet on.
Yeah, I'm gonna back Rory here at 25-1. The last time he was at these type of odds was at Quail Hollow. And we cashed that ticket at Quail Hollow the last time he was at these odds, so we're going right back.
Be better. Be better.
And,
come on.
I really don't think
Snyder.
I really don't think like a long shot has a chance to win this week, but a guy like Kevin Knott at 60-1 odds. I mean, if that putter just gets absolutely insanely hot, I could see him possibly being there at the end. But I also have to give Uncle T a little shout out as well. He mentioned the final last week on the bet show, so I told him I'd hook.
Because he listened to this show. Because he listened to our show before he went on the bet show. Of course, he mentioned Finau. Uncle T doesn't get a shout out for that.
I don't know. I don't know where he got the information. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we can't give Uncle T credit for that. He was in the chat the whole time. He's
been sending me messages telling me to hook him up.
Get out of here, Uncle T. Get out of here, Uncle T. You listen to our show. You're in the chat the whole time. You're going to take credit for Finau. Get out of here. I don't care if that hurts your feelings.
Yeah. All right, Hoop. Who do you think's winning this week? And give us a long shot.
Yeah, I'm deciding between two guys up top, not all the way up top. Give me Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty Scheffler I think Scotty Scheffler wins this week. I do agree with Snyder, though. I mean, betting long shots at these sort of events, very, very tough. I mean, very tough. Like regular season, when there's some of these weaker events, yeah, the guys down here can definitely get it done this week. I'd definitely be focusing on the top range, but a guy I would bet, I'm sure he's like 100-1. I haven't looked it up down here, is Sergio.
So Hoop's going to give me crap for taking Rory, but he's going to back a guy who's never won on tour and always melts down on a Sunday.
Who?
Scotty Scheffler.
Oh.
Didn't he shoot like 80 last time he was in contention?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's fine. He's going to get it done. Top five Tony.
So I'll be on him.
Top five Tony can get it done.
You're on a heater.
Yeah.
So I'm taking. So here's what I'm doing. My two are. It's either going to be the guy who should win or the guy way, way, way down there. I'm going John Rahm, and then I'm going Keith Mitchell. So I'm going. It's either the favorite or a guy way, way, way down there in the dumpster diving. That's what I'm saying this week. I mean, I do think I mean, Rom should have won last week. This guy is he's phenomenal, man. I just like, gosh, people are going to fade him too this week. I almost just want to lock him in. Like, I just think, how isn't he going to be in the winning lineups? You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm really torn on what to do ownership wise with him. Because if I lock him in, I definitely would have to fade Xander, Spieth, DJ, probably Brooks. And then, you know, you'd almost have to fade everyone in the top range, right? So maybe it's something where you go 70%. I'm really not sure yet, but we'll play around with the opto and we'll figure it out. Snyder, any final thoughts this week?
Yeah, I had a question for you guys for these no-cut events. What do you think of like potting together like a certain grouping of guys, like playing like 20 lineups of potting this group of players together and playing 20 lineups with a different pod together, like locking 3 guys together and just kind of potting them together? I mean, I've always kind of wondered about these no-cut strategies. I didn't know if that would be like
tea time. Is that what we're talking about? Like guys in the same group?
Not really. Like just like potting, like you'll lock Rom and like 2 mid-range guys or something together. And if those 3 guys all pop, then you got so many outs with the other 3 guys. I didn't know if that was a viable strategy or not in the no-cut event.
No, I mean, I think it certainly is. I mean, really, you're just taking your, core guys or guys that you like the way roster construction works with and making sure you're hitting a bunch of combinations with that exact roster construction and then filtering other guys in. I mean, I think it's certainly a viable strategy.
Yeah, I would agree. I try to, within the rules that we can make with the optimizer, I'll do that almost in inverse. So like if you go down to the 6K range, one thing I'll often do is make sure a common rule I have is like, I don't want, for example, let's just say, let's just take Taylor Gooch and Hudson Swafford. Like I'll make sure that those 2 are like, and then maybe a few other really risky punts are in the same pool. I'll make sure only like each lineup can have 1 of those guys so that the opto's not like forcing in 2 of those guys. Cause that's a common thing that will happen when you're running the opto. So I try to build the rules to do that, but I haven't thought about actual groups like you mentioned. Another thing I was thinking of is just like, if you get like 3 guys that are in a good tee time that are paired together, good mojo, good vibes. Sometimes you see them in the first 2 rounds kind of build off each other. That's what I thought you were talking about, Snyder. Yeah. And that's an interesting strategy too, but kind of unsure. Any other final thoughts, Snyder?
No, we got some. We'll have the bet show will be tomorrow. We're going to postpone that one day for tomorrow. So we're going to have a Wednesday show we'll have a little bit of DFS talk, but mainly bet show talk on that. And then I'll be on the college football this weekend. We got college football starting this weekend, and then we'll have some more NFL preseason as well. The last week of NFL preseason will be this weekend as well.
Cool. Very good. Hoop, any final thoughts this week?
Yeah, I mean, loaded field, looking forward to it. Going to be a lot of fun, and expect to see RPS at the top of leaderboards.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a fun week. Don't get cute. That is the message that I'm keeping with myself. Again, if you're not a member, come sign up. Use the code RPS NFL 15. Another thing too, if you are in best ball, we got a partnership going on with Underdog. Use the promo code RunPure to get $25 on your first payment over there with them. We have a ton of content too with Underdog, Snyder, and our guy Simon, Bobby Gomes. All of them have been leading it up. Make sure you get your drafts in and everything with that. Yeah, with that, guys, I think it's going to be another fun week. A quick turnaround. Again, all the content's going to come out tomorrow. Playbook's going to be up, cash chart, core plays, get in Discord. We got our guy Tambo. He is now a part of the team. He's got his article coming out, and he'll be back on video here very soon. I believe next week. He's going to be back on video. We're going to have Tambo. We're going to do something, get a big show going on to announce him that he's out of jail and able to get on video. With that, guys, I'm going to end it right there. For me, AP, our boys, Snyder, Hoop, let's all run Pier this week.